What is up, Capricorn? How y'all doing? It is time for your May 2025 extended reading. So this is just one last swoop across the table. Got to make sure I got every drop of information, every crumb of detail, every situation, every scenario squeezed out of the month of May that I possibly can before we can move on to the mid-month messages. So, for those of you who are in need of a personal reading, all the information is right down there in the description of the video. And for those of you who missed the memo, I do have a new course for the month of May. For the month of May, I made the decision to break out my course on how to read the tarot. It's actually a two-part course because there is quite a bit that goes into it. The first part is 90% how I interpret each one of the cards. That's part one. Part two is when I dive into the intuitive guide, learning how to develop a relationship with a tarot deck, developing a relationship with yourself and your intuition, developing a relationship with the universe. The way I see it, that's like 80% of the whole tarot reading process. But I think both parts are very important. So the link for that's in the description. June 1st, it goes bye-bye. Also, don't forget, we are still stocking up our handmade crystal jewelry on my website, too. We're going to continue restocking that as it sells. So keep an eye on that. All right, anything else? I don't think so. All right, let's jump into this. Let's see if there's anything else that we can say about the person from the past. If you're not asking about a past person, sit tight. I'll get to you in a second. Anything else we can tell Capricorn about the past person? Anything I missed? Anything I left out? Anything. Let's see. Boom! Fool card. But the Four of Swords. I knew it. Man, every time there's an action card, there's always a card that comes out that's like indicating slowing down the action, you know? Like, I think this person's contemplating, they're thinking about maybe coming forward, but they're holding back. Trying to find somebody new. So the person that you dealt with in the past, see, here's the thing. This person, I think, is a codependent, emotional codependent. So they're just trying to find somebody new. Somebody, anybody, they don't care who. They just want to find a faceless, nameless somebody to be with them as soon as possible. Why? To distract them from their heartbreak, from their emptiness, their loneliness, you know? And it's not uncommon at all when a genuine, true blue codependent finds themselves backed into a corner with their hands tied. All their options are dried up. The first thing they do is they start looking in the rearview mirror and seeing what person from the past could possibly come back into their life. So they're thinking about it. But that, I would say this person's going to come forward. I would say that. But that Four of Swords and the Strength card throws a big monkey wrench in the action. So, could be a Leo for some of you. I also have Taurus here. Could be anybody. Those are just energies. All right. Let's see how they feel about you at the deepest level. How does the past person feel about Capricorn at the deepest level, universe? Any details that I missed? Chariot reversed. Two more shuffles, two more. Boom, 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 boom. Blue, blue, buddy, blue. Boom! Three of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Queen of Cups reverse. See, Seven of Cups again. So, this is always so challenging to explain. This comes through my personal readings a lot. Somebody will come to me for a reading, and the question will be, how does this person feel about me? And then the Nine of Cups reverse comes out. And that is so hard to explain because, like I said, when you're dealing with a codependent, now they don't know this. I don't think they realize this consciously, but they don't have feelings for you. They depend on relationships to distract them from their own problems, you know? Let me give you an example. Have you ever met a real certified true blue alcoholic? You ever met one of them? I'm sure you have at some point. One of them people that can just wake up and start hitting the vodka first thing in the morning. I used to be like that back in my heyday. If you ever meet a person like that, ask them, do you like the taste of alcohol? You know what they say 9 times out of 10? No, it tastes like shit. Every now and then you'll meet somebody that says they like the taste of it, but I can't think of an alcoholic I've ever met that actually enjoys the taste of that shit. So you don't like the taste of it. If you could, you would flip a switch and turn off your need to drink it. Then why do you need it so bad? If you don't like the way it tastes, why do you like it? I need it to distract me from my pain. Similarly, a lot more similar than you would think. But on a conscious level, this person just needs somebody to be with, you know, somebody, anybody. And if they feel like they can have nobody, then that's when they start thinking back to the past, you know, and what they miss from the past and this and that. It's hard to explain, man. It's really hard to explain. They do feel unfinished business with you, though. They absolutely feel unfinished business. But they're still a little bit guarded, defensive, and pissed off towards you, too, at the same time. Okay, well, let's see, are they actually going to take action towards you? Is anything happening here? I think we just read this in the Earth Signs video, didn't we? All right, are they taking action towards Capricorn? You know, next on the mid-month messages, that's where we check to see if timelines are changing. That's why I got to do this first. But with the timeline we're on right now, is this person taking action towards you? Well, they're planning on, well, they're hoping that the opportunity presents itself. So what they're doing is they're kind of fantasizing and daydreaming about if the right opportunity presented itself, what they would say to you, you know? But if the right opportunity doesn't present itself, I don't think they're just going to take action towards you willy-nilly like that. I don't think so. They're thinking about it, though. Let's get the advice. What is the best advice? What's the advice? Page of Wands reversed. Boom. Justice. Okay. Well, unless you hear from this person directly, I would hang back. I would hang back. For those of you who do end up hearing from this person, make sure you can wipe the slate clean first. See if you can just form a friendship with them. See if you can do that. See if we can just keep communication open and remain cool, casual, and cordial with each other for a little bit. And just feel the energy out. Let them in slowly. Let them in slowly. Let them in slowly. And if it goes smooth, then we can think about attempting reconciliation. But what we want to see is we want to see if there's any hidden motives in there. That's what we want to see. If there's hidden motives and you're taking things slow like that, usually that'll be revealed and exposed just within a matter of 6 to 8 weeks. So, yeah, I honestly think, though, that it's time to get ready for the next person that's due to come in, though, and you're going to have to release this. But we'll read that here in a minute. Let's see what's going on with the singles and your love interest. Anything else the Capricorn needs to hear? Singles and the person they're interested in. Emperor reverse could be an Aries for some of you. Person got a lot of self-esteem issues. And for some of you, I think you may not even realize that. When I say that, you're probably like, what? They don't have self-esteem issues. You know, they do. Oh, yeah, the fuck they do. You know, there's two ways that self-esteem issues express themselves in a person. And it's like they're both extreme ends of one spectrum. But you know what I think most people with self-esteem issues, how it manifests itself? They try to overcompensate, right? 9 times, especially if it's a man that you're dealing with, especially. You know, I've seen women do it too, but men are way worse about it. Most of the time, when somebody's insecure, especially a man, they try to overcompensate, you know? They try to act like they're overly confident, really cocky, you know? They may constantly be trying to show off materialistic things, leading with their money. Or have you ever met somebody that just always has to compete to have the nicest, newest, best fucking thing, you know? You know, as soon as that new phone comes out, they got to go grab that new phone. You know, whatever the hottest car is, they got to go grab that car. You know, whatever it is, they have to have the biggest. They have to have the best. They have to have the most expensive. You know, comes from a place of insecurity. So I feel like some of you could be dealing with that energy in some form or another. But I'm honestly also kind of feeling like what I want to know for a lot of you is how well do you know this person? Because I have this really funny feeling that their whole image is fake. How well do you know this person? How long have you known this person? I would say that if this is somebody who you've been close to for many years, this may not resonate with you. I think the majority of you that need to hear this message don't really know this person all that well. You know, for example, maybe it's a coworker and you kind of know them. You know them at work, but you don't know anything outside of work. And what you don't know is that this person's whole image is fake. They're not at all who you think they are. At all. At all. I'm feeling that real strong here. Real strong. But as far as anything happening between the two of you, I think you're kind of starting to suspect Well, with the High Priestess and the Seven of Swords both reversed, you can't, I mean, you feel that something's off, but you don't know if you're just tripping or if you're intuitively picking up on something that's genuinely off about this person. You're having a hard time making that call. You're starting to suspect that they might be full of shit, and I think they are, honestly. But don't hold me to that yet. Let's see what their feelings and intentions are at the deepest level before we can make that call. What's this person's truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? How they feel about you? How do they see you? I want to know what kind of person they are in general. That's what I'm looking for, but let's see. Temperance reversed. Yeah, see, look. Could be a Saggy for some of you. Hang on, it's not ready yet. Hold up. Oh, whoa, whoa. All right. There we go. Boom. Ten of Swords reverse. Thank you. I don't know how to say your name, but I appreciate that super chat. Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay. They're afraid of settling down. Now we got that Devil card there, though. King of Cups reversed. Yeah, well, they are sexually attracted to you. 100%. But as far as settling down and committing, I don't know if that's really high on their to-do list, for 2025. King of Cups reversed Devil card kind of indicates emotional unavailability, sex-based connection. Have you been sexually intimate with this person? If you have, well, careful with that. Even whether you have or you haven't, be careful with that. But especially if you already have, be careful keeping that going. Careful with that. Careful with that, because I'm not convinced that this person is trying to take things much further than that. So, yeah, like I said, I just think this person's fake. I just think their whole image is a big facade. Their whole persona is a big psyop, And in fucking today's day and age of social media, there are so many people out there like that. So many people out there like that. You click on people's fucking profiles and all you see is all these filtered pictures. Like what the fuck are you expecting to gain out of that? Like what in your mind do you think is going to happen when you put a picture up that doesn't look like you actually look? Like it's just, there's so much fake shit out there. And it's like, why? Why? Anyway, I could go on all night about that. But let's just grab the advice here, man. What is the advice? Whoa, this deck's yelling at me. It said no. Oh, but look what fell on the floor, though. Ten of Cups reverse, Lover's card reverse, both fell on the floor. But this deck yelled at me, so I'm going to put it up. Let's grab a different one. What's the advice? Advice for Capricorn. Do. Oh, Three of Swords. And Seven of Swords. All I'm going to say is this. Pay attention to that feeling. Pay attention to that feeling. At the end of the day, don't waste too much time driving yourself nuts trying to figure out why it feels off. Okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If something feels off with a person, no matter how you slice that bread, no matter how the cookie crumbles, you're an energetic mismatch. Doesn't matter. It don't matter. Let's talk about the top 3 reasons why something would feel off about a person. Okay? Number 1, you're intuitively picking up on something that's actually off about that person, right? That's one reason. Number 2, you're so broken, traumatized, and unhealed that you're viewing the world through a broken lens. Therefore, you're incapable of picking up what this person's putting down. That's another reason. Or the two of you just speak such different vibrational languages and are such a vibrational mismatch that neither of y'all are capable of picking up what each other's putting down. Those are the top 3 reasons why something would feel off with a person. Which one of those reasons is better than the others? Which one of those reasons could you use to lay a solid foundation and build a life partnership with somebody? None of them. None of them. No matter which one of those reasons it is, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. I get it though. I mean, whenever something feels off, I totally understand. You're trying to figure out what it is. Is it you? Is something off about you, or is it me? Maybe I'm just tripping. Is this just insecurities? Maybe is this some of my childhood trauma bubbling up to the surface? Am I just paranoid? At the end of the day, it don't fucking matter. If it feels off, that energy is eventually going to manifest. No matter why. So just take that with you on your journey. And be picky and choosy about how the energy feels between you and anybody you connect with. I'm going to tell you what right now. Every time. Every time. When I say every time, I mean every fucking time I felt off about a person, it's always right. Always. Always. Not most of the time. Not 9 times out of 10. Every fucking time. Every fucking time. It always turns out to be right. So, when you feel that feeling, take heed. Okay? All right, let's see who's due to come in next. Who is due to come in next for the Capricorn family? Who's due to come in next? Blue, blue, buddy, blue. So, I dropped my card off the end of the table. Two of Wands. That's a weird fucking card. Weird card to jump out first thing there. Hang on, let me see what's going on. Got the Moon card and the Strength card. Okay. All right. Well, we got that World card reversed there. Okay, so there's this is a karmic contract. Excuse me. Yeah, it's definitely a karmic contract here. So remember, that's nothing to worry about. Don't let the word karma alarm you. That does not intrinsically mean that it's supposed to be a bad thing. It does not mean that you've done something wrong. It does not mean that you have a lesson that you need to learn. And it abso-fucking-lutely does not mean that you're being punished for something, okay? Now, can karma encompass some of those concepts? Yes, it can, but that's not what it means intrinsically. All it means intrinsically is unresolved, unfinished business from a previous lifetime. That's all it means. That's all it means. Y'all had some kind of soul contract in a past life, and it got fucked up somehow. So you agreed to come back and try it again in this lifetime. And you're really, really, really uncertain as to whether or not you want to move forward with this. God damn, straight out the gate like that, though? You're really uncertain as to whether or not you want to move forward from this. Honestly, I'm going to tell you what it's looking like here. For whatever reason I'll dig into here in a minute, you're keeping this person at an arm's distance, not getting too close to them. Tension is building, and in probably less than a month, it's going to blow up between the two of you, and you're moving on from this. That's what this is telling me. It's giving me the whole shebang right here in one spread. Okay, could be an Aquarius for some of you. I have Aquarius, Leo, and Pisces here. But like I've said, could be anybody. Those are just energies. Let me see what the hell their intentions are, and their feelings, and their energies, and all that good shit. What's this person's truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Boom! Knight of Wands reversed again. That was in the last spread, too. Oh, that was in the last spread, too. So, I think they're a little bit afraid of falling in love, honestly. You know, if I had to make a list of the top 3 most common messages to come through in somebody's intentions, that's definitely on that list. Afraid of falling in love. Now, is it love that they're afraid of? No. They're afraid of getting hurt. At the end of the day, ain't nobody afraid of falling in love. Think about it. Think about the first time you fell in love. Was you afraid of it? No. No. You were excited about it. You were happy about it, right? You didn't start becoming afraid of it until you got hurt once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Then that's when every time you start feeling those feelings creeping up, they start scaring the shit out of you, right? Because you already fucking know, oh my God. God damn it. This person has the power to fucking destroy me. And every time somebody ends up obtaining that power, they always end up using it. So, I mean, I dig. I ain't gonna say I don't understand it. I think we all understand that to a point, right? Most of us do, to an extent. But yes, they do feel an abnormally strong connection with you, but they're afraid of falling in love. So, we already got the outcome in the first spread. Got the whole 9 yards, the whole shebang, the whole ball of wax in the first spread. It looks like it, you know. So what they're doing basically is they're kind of keeping you at an arm's distance. Therefore, you're keeping them at an arm's. Y'all both doing each other like that. Y'all both kind of doing each other like that energetically. And what does that do? It creates tension. Why does it create tension? Well, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, it's a self-fulfilling cycle. Because if I approach you from the perspective of, I'm not going to let you in until I decide that it's a good idea. I'm not going to trust you until you prove to me that I can. So I'm looking for some bullshit. I'm looking for something that confirms my suspicion. Okay? Well, I'm going to be acting kind of funny, ain't I? So if I approach you with that, you're going to feel that. And you're going to be like, whoa, you acting funny. You're acting like you got something else going on in there. Like there might be some ulterior motives, you know. So you gonna keep me at an arm's distance. So then when you're keeping me at an arm's distance, I'm like, haha, see, I told you. I told you. I knew something was off about this, you know. So now my guard's going up even higher. And the higher my guard goes up, the higher your guard goes up. And in my mind, I think that my intuition is right. When in actuality, I'm the one manifesting it. Right? You're responding to my energy. But in my mind, I think that, ah ha ha, see, I told you. I told you. I knew I was right. And it's a self-fulfilling cycle, you know? And tension builds and builds and builds, and then pow, it blows up. We're both pointing the finger at each other, calling each other names, when in actuality, we both had good intentions. We're both just scared, broken people who don't want to get fucking hurt again. Right? Happens all the fucking time. So, let's get the advice. What's the best advice? What is the best advice? What's the best advice? Ace of coins, man. Hang on. High Priestess. We already talked about that, though. Well, see, here's the thing. You don't want to be pushy and demanding, right? That's one of the dumbest things that you can do when you're very first connecting with a new person, is be pushy and demanding. You see people doing that in the dating world, you know, and that is so stupid. So stupid. But at the same time, you still want to communicate what it is that you want. So how do you communicate what you want in a way that's respectful, in a way that's not invasive, intrusive, aggressive? You know, like I'm just simply stating a fact. You know? How do you do that? That's tricky. That's difficult. But what I always say, you know what? I'm going to go back to my one of my favorite talking points. I know my OG followers have heard me say this a lot, but this is for the new faces. My channel has not stopped growing since 2018, so there's always new faces in here. Let people do whatever the fuck they want. Let them do what they want. If you let them do what they want, they'll show you what they want. When they show you what they want, believe them. Believe them. Now that's a hard path to walk. That can be painful. That can be hurtful. But it'll show you everything you need to know. I've been living by that since, oh God, about the last 10 years. About the last 10 years. I ain't never going to tell you what you can and can't do, where you can and can't go, who you should and shouldn't talk to, how to respect a relationship. I'm not going to tell you that. I shouldn't have to. If you don't have the common sense and the common decency to respect a relationship on your own without being told, I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you. Nope. And yeah, that's a hurtful path to walk, man. If you let them do what they want and they go off and do something stupid, it might hurt. It might. But it lets you know everything you need to know. This one's a tough one, though, man. The thing that I'm tripping up on right now is that there's uncleared karma here. That always kind of backs me into a corner when there's uncleared karma. I don't have the authority to tell you to walk away from an incomplete karmic contract. I can't tell you that. Because you wrote that soul contract before I ever set foot on this planet. I was a long way away from here on my home planet, playing some other game that has nothing to do with the human 3D Earth game when you wrote that soul contract. You think I could just set foot on planet Earth for the first time and tell you to just walk away from it? I can't do that. I don't have the authority for that. But the only thing that I would say is don't let it string on for too long. Don't let it string on for too long. It shouldn't have to string on for too long, okay? At a certain point, come up with a plan in your mind as to when and where you're going to draw the line. Now, that's different for everybody. But at least be willing to draw the line some fucking where. Somewhere. Somewhere. Another big problem in the dating world today is that there's too many people that never draw the fucking line anywhere, ever. Set some boundaries, set some standards. Come up with a plan in your mind as to when and where you're going to draw the line. That's all I can say about that, all right? All right, y'all. Well, I feel like those were the messages that my Capricorn family needed to hear, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget the information for personal readings is right down there in the description, okay? I'm out of here now, y'all. I'll see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.